It's the end of brand new festival playlists in Forza Horizon 5, so going forward we're going to have to vote for which ones return, as we did last month for the one that's just been released. But as well as that, they've just given us some more information about Horizon Realms, which will release alongside the game coming to PlayStation on the 25th of April. So I'm quickly going to go over what's been voted for in the playlist, what's coming up with that, and what's in the vote for next time, and then we'll talk a bit more about Horizon Realms and some new content that's coming along with that. As far as I can tell, the events in the playlist are the same as they were in the original version. However, the rewards have been changed from what they were in that version of this playlist, mostly so as not to include things that are already in the Backstage Pass, I think, but it doesn't seem entirely logical what they have and haven't removed. This mostly actually involves removing the 40 points prize cars each week and replacing them with Backstage Passes, meaning we can then go and redeem any hard-to-find car that we like from the Backstage shop, provided it's been added. Apart from this, some of the prize cars from the playlist have changed slightly as well. The 2010 Ferrari 599XX, that was the overall prize, has been swapped for the 2012 GT3 RS 4-litre, which kind of makes sense because the Ferrari is purchasable in the auto show now. All 4 40-point prizes have been swapped for Backstage Passes. In Week 1, a Backstage Pass replaces the KTM Crossbow GT4, in Week 2, the Neo EP9, in Week 3, the Noble M600, and in Week 4, the Jaguar XKRS GT, which is now instead the 20-point prize for the second week, instead of the 2019 Porsche 935 that was the prize for the second week in the original playlist. The only other change is that in the third week, the Audi RS6 has been changed for a Koenigsegg Agera. I don't really understand how they've decided what to move around or remove though. The Jag, for example, is already in the Backstage shop, so it doesn't need to be in the playlist at all, and certainly didn't need moving from one week to another to ensure that it was still included. The Huracan STO is also already in the Backstage shop, whilst the Porsche 935 that they have removed remains as a playlist exclusive vehicle from the first time that this theme was used. I don't think it's come back since then. Or certainly if it has come back, it's only ever been available through the playlist, isn't in the Backstage shop, and therefore seems like an odd one to remove when things like the Jaguar they're trying to make sure they keep, even by moving the prizes around. Over on the Forza forums a little while ago, there was actually a post giving details of changes to both of the playlist options that we were voting on in-game, so we also know what the prize changes would have looked like if the Italian Automotive playlist had won the vote instead of the high-performance one. For the overall prizes, the Aventador SVJ would have been swapped for an Alfa Romeo 8C, and the 512 TR would have been swapped for the Fiat Dino. For the most part, the weekly prizes would have been the same as before, just with the 40-point prizes being swapped for Backstage Passes, a bit like in the playlist that we do have. In Week 1, this would have replaced a Lancia Delta S4, in Week 2, an Alfa Romeo 4C, in Week 3, the Alfa Romeo 8C, which would have become an overall prize instead, and in Week 4, a Lancia 037. The only other change would have been that the Alpha 4C that was removed from the second week would have been moved to become a 20-point prize in the fourth week instead of the Abarth 124. The decisions for this playlist made slightly more sense than for the high-performance one that we actually got in-game. The SVJ and the 512 that would have been removed are both already in the Backstage shop, so that makes sense. However, the Lancia Delta S4, the 037 and the Abarth 124 that would have been removed are not in the Backstage shop. So it still seems like some quite random decisions, unless some of these cars that they've taken out of the playlist are soon to be in votes for the Backstage Pass, so potentially we'll end up in there while this playlist is still live. Who knows? It all seems a little bit random. Some things that are in the Backstage Pass have been left in the playlist, and some things that aren't in the Backstage Pass have been taken out of the playlist. So, yeah, all a bit odd. So, of course, going forward, we're going to have to vote for future playlists, just like we did with this one. So, next time, we can either have the Horizon Wilds Takeover or the Horizon Creatives playlist. I don't quite know what to go for because I don't believe we know what the prizes are going to be in these, and the way they're changed is quite random, but I kind of have all the cars anyway, so to me it doesn't make much difference. And Horizon Creatives sounds slightly more interesting, so I'm going to go for that. And that's how the playlist is going to continue for a while until Horizon Realms appears, when the game releases for PlayStation, which has just been confirmed as the 25th of April. Just yesterday, some new information about this was revealed by the developers. Horizon Realms, as I understand it from the trailer that dropped yesterday, allows you to revisit some previous Evolving World environments, as well as one new one, which looks like a lot of fun. There will also be a brand new racetrack Evolving World inside the stadium, and apparently it will also appear in Horizon Open. It does look quite tight, so I'm not quite sure about that yet, but we'll wait and see what it's like when it arrives in the game, see how it drives. These are all of the Evolving Worlds that will be available through Horizon Realms, so we'll be able to return to 11 of the previous Evolving Worlds, as well as that one new one, making 12 of them in total. Horizon Realms will also see the addition of 8 new to Forza vehicles, 4 of which will be earned from some new accolades. We don't quite know what you'll have to complete to unlock these new cars, but there will apparently be 60 new accolades within the new realms, with 5 in each, so we'll see what we end up having to do to get those cars. These will unlock you the Lamborghini Revuelto, the Lamborghini Huracan Starato, the Lotus Exige Cup 430, and the massive Hennessy Mammoth 6x6. The other 4 cars will be part of a new paid car pack. Yes, they are back. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. It's going to be called the Nissan Heritage Pack and will feature the Nissan Pal, the Nissan Figaro, the Nissan S-Cargo, and the Nissan BE1. Despite my not agreeing with there being another paid car pack in the game, these do look like they're going to be fantastic fun. There are apparently going to be 2 ways that you can play with these returning Evolving Worlds in Horizon Realms. One of them will be called Skill Mode, which you'll enter with a group of people and try and bank as much skill score as possible, which, to be honest, doesn't sound all that interesting to me, although potentially we'll have to go and do that to unlock some of the accolades. And the other one is Free Mode, which puts the leaderboards to the side and just lets you go and have fun in whichever Evolving World you want to, either with friends in your convoy or just on your own if you prefer. That, though, is going to be all for today's video. As ever, do let me know your thoughts on, well, these returning festival playlists, there being different cars in them, the voting for them, this kind of new phase of Forza Horizon 5's life, as well as your thoughts on the upcoming Horizon Realms and new vehicles that are coming to the game. That, though, is going to be all for today's video, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with the next one very soon.